Hello everybody and welcome back to another video, and today is kind of a special one. But first, before we get into that, I just wanted to share we do have some affiliate links that you guys can click on to help support the channel. We do have affiliate links for Sabers Pro if you guys are looking to get more high-end battle-ready lightsabers. Those are always cool. And if you guys collect the Black Series or Vintage Collection, Evo Retro, those guys can help you out by protecting your collection. Now today's video is a unique one because it's a convention video. I was actually invited to go to ICCC in Nashville. If you guys are not familiar, this is an all Star Wars focused convention, and that's the first time I've ever been to one like that. Normally it's like sci-fi or pop culture, but this one is like supposed to be strictly Star Wars, and I was stoked to be invited to this. So thank you, ICCC, for inviting Jack and I out to visit the convention and check it out for press. I appreciate it. Now, we actually got VIP passes, which let us go in Thursday. So the convention's open to the main public Friday, Saturday, Sunday, but we got in an extra day. So that was pretty cool. And they had all kinds of cool stuff set up for photo ops. As you guys see here, I mean, we've got all these dioramas set up and props. Here's a really cool R2-D2 and a pit droid. There's this droid builders club that showed up, and I have to share this. This is one of the coolest looking battle droids I've ever seen. It's based on like the blue and silver hyena droid bomber, or maybe just even the vulture droid that has that paint job, but these look amazing. These were 3D printed by a fan that came in, and she did a fantastic job with these. And this is just me walking around the floor, you know. We haven't opened up the vendor's hall or anything yet. These rooms were just open for us to go in. And of course, this Droideka I had to show. This thing is amazing. It is a life-size Droideka. This thing was taller than I was. And while we were waiting for the vendor's hall to open up, I actually went over to the podcast room, and our friend General Kenobi's bunker was there, and he was doing a live episode for the convention, which was really cool. And after that, General Kenobi actually kind of hooked us up there. He talked to the guy running the live streams there, and we went on right after General Kenobi, so that was pretty cool. We got to do a live episode. If you guys want to check that out, it's on our live stream section there you can look at. It was pretty fun. It was pretty cool, and definitely one of the highlights. And when we were done with that, we checked out the main stage. This is where panels were happening. They also had an auction here later on in the weekend. But when we were done there, the vendor's hall was open. Now, as you can see, tons of toys, tons of collectibles, all kinds of cool stuff. This is also where we did signings. You could meet certain actors and people who were a part of Star Wars. Here's a real cool table with a bunch of custom miniature action figures. I believe General Kenobi, he picked up the Boba Fett from that table. Super cool. And I mean, this guy just had like a whole fleet of AT-ATs. It's insane. The stuff that you were seeing at this convention, tons of Black Series, all kinds of ships. My main goal coming here, if I was to find one item, it was going to be the 3.75 ATTE. Spoiler alert, unfortunately I did not find it, but I did find something else I hope you find pretty cool, because it is a ship, but I'm not going to share it until I actually pick it up at the end of the video. And of course, lightsaber booths. There were two large lightsaber booths here. We have Rebel sabers. These guys had quite the selection here of pretty cool lightsabers. And I mean, you could build your own. Here's Ahsoka's lightsabers from Rebels and Clone Wars. Super cool. You've got the Skywalker Reforged, Leia's lightsaber there. So if you guys are interested, definitely check out Rebel sabers. And then this booth over here actually had some signed memorabilia. That was pretty cool. They actually had an Alec Guinness item signed. That's pretty cool. And then you have the melted Vader helmet. Pretty cool. Some hot toys and diorama Diamond Fig statues there. So, I mean, if you were looking for something, I would say there's a 90% chance it would show up at a convention like this. Coming here Thursday, only open to VIPs, definitely has its perks, because there's not a lot of people walking around in this vendor hall. And it was so easy to go around, find things. You weren't pressed for time to make sure no one else was going to buy it up. So that's definitely a perk of getting there early, for sure. And then here are some of the backdrop banner areas where we had some of the actors and talent. That was very cool. Some of the big names, of course, we had Warwick Davis, Billy D. Williams. We had Timothy Zahn. If you're not familiar, he wrote Thrawn. So pretty cool. Mark Thompson was there. He was the voice of Thrawn in the audiobooks. So lots of cool actors for sure. And then we've got, of course, graded figures here. Lots of people were looking at these figures. And then they had some just kind of overall like fantasy tables. You know, like these guys have like Dungeons and Dragon, dice, things like that. So there was just some other topical items that you could pick up. A lot of art. Definitely check out a lot of the art there. It was super cool to see. Some people were actually, there was a lady there painting things while the convention was going on. Very, very cool. And of course, there is Admiral Akbar himself. Pretty cool. They did have some people from the Muppets there. That was kind of fun. I don't exactly know why. Maybe there's just something I'm missing. Maybe he was part of Star Wars and Muppets together or something. I'm not entirely sure. And then these guys did like cardboard standees. This was pretty cool. You got Star Wars, all different kinds of custom ones. They were in like Santa hats and stuff. Here's the Jedi Chat podcast. Those guys were there all week. And then here's some of these lights. I see a lot of these on Amazon, but these ones look cooler because they also have keychains. So that's pretty cool. This guy had some really, really cool custom helmets of like the 2010, 2008 clone helmets. Those were amazing. Here's a really cool statue of Vader with his helmet taken off. Pretty cool. You can see Anakin in there. And he's got some other cool... These are pretty large statues, I'm not going to lie. It's like an unpainted prototype Han in carbonite. We've got Anakin right there, Boba on a Rancor, Obi-Wan, and Ahsoka. These statues were pretty cool, I'm not going to lie. And of course, Thrawn in his throne. I've seen this on Entertainment Earth. I've definitely thought about picking it up, but I did pass. And here's another lightsaber booth. These guys had some pretty cool ones as well. Some that stuck out were definitely Balin's skull, Kanan Jarrus' lightsaber, Yoda's. They also had Malgus battle damage, which was pretty cool, and the Ronin samurai blade from that one episode of Star Wars Visions. Super cool stuff. They're so cool. Their name is Cool Lightsabers. So definitely check these guys out. They have an online store, but they go to conventions all the time. Now, one of the first things I did after doing my rounds, walking around the convention floor, was getting my signatures. I was going to try to get those day one since it wasn't that busy. So one of the first things I did was I have this Titanium series Boba Fett starship, and I have been getting it signed over the years by the different people who have played Boba Fett. So I ended up getting it signed by the gentleman who played him in Empire Strikes Back, and he also portrays Dak from Empire Strikes Back, so that was pretty cool. I didn't know he did both of those. There's Mark Thompson, the voice of Thrawn, and Timothy Zahn, the writer of Thrawn. Very cool to see those guys. After that, I did meet Dennis Lawson. That is, if you are not familiar, Wedge Antilles. I did get a plaque sign. I'll show that in a bit. Then afterwards, they actually had food trucks, so we went out and tried some of those. Pretty good. Then we went on a little journey around some of the other rooms, and they had a super battle droid on display, and this thing was sick. And it's actually kind of neat. This one was made with a Beskar. It's got like a little backstory to it and everything. These guys take this droid out on tour, so if you guys get to see it, pretty cool. And they also had this like life-size mall. That was also pretty cool. A lot of photo opportunities for sure at these conventions. But the room that all this was in was for a charity, and we ended up donating one of my Sabers Pro lightsabers. You guys see here, I brought two with me, one to give to a person attending, and I ended up giving the other to this charity to help them out, get more people to sign up. So pretty cool first day. Day 2, we started off right. We got ourselves some breakfast, woke up at the hotel, and we went straight over there. And pretty cool, they had this like light effect on the floor from the Clone Wars. I didn't notice that before. And today we went outside. We were touching grass today, and they had this whole Mandalorian covert outside I didn't even know about. And these guys were all in their cosplays. These different custom Mandalorian outfits were super detailed, super cool. And they had a tank outside, and this thing was wicked cool. Of course, it was a life-size, but I couldn't believe they got this thing out here. It was just such a cool thing to see in person. I can't wait to see if they bring stuff like this every year, because this was my first year attending ICCC, so I hope to see more like vehicles like that in the future. And we found out that they also had a game room, which was pretty cool. So there was the Star Wars retro arcade machine, and then they had some like Nintendo Switches hooked up, a PlayStation. A lot of people playing Mario Kart. They had Super Smash Brothers. That was pretty fun. If you guys don't know, I'm a pretty avid Super Smash Brothers player myself. Spoiler alert, they did have a tournament, and I did take part in that. But going to that hall, there's actually this super cool Lego setup. These guys were building like Mos Eisley or Mos Espa. They had the Ghost made out of Legos, and then they had this super cool Geonosis fight scene going on with some clones, and of course the Geonosians. Super, super cool. I wish I had the time and the skill to come up with some of these sets like this, because these guys are so talented when it comes to Lego. It's crazy what people can come up with when it comes to Legos. And I did end up picking up some of those lightsabers we were looking at earlier. I did get Jedi Dooku. I'll have a better video coming out soon of all of my pickups. That way it'll look a little nicer. We'll do a display of them. And here again is some footage of the main hall, just talking Star Wars questions. But later that night, one of the coolest things that happened is, and I'm not getting actual footage just because respecting people's privacy, but in the hotel, they allow the people who stay there and the vendors to open it up to the public. Like, you can walk down the hallway, their doors are open, and they're selling Star Wars stuff. Pretty dang cool. And the next day they brought it down to the lobby, which was pretty cool, so you could go up into the hotel rooms. And down in the lobby they set up once the vendors hall and the convention was closed for the night. So, I mean, it was non-stop Star Wars the whole time. They just set up in the lobby. People were bringing tables down. People were setting up on the, just wherever they could, on the windowsills. It was crazy, but it was fun to see something like that. I'd never seen anything like that at a convention, ever almost. So that was a pretty cool first for me, you know, lobby sales, room sales in a hotel. Pretty cool. They also did, a gentleman had one of the Holy Grails of the Black Series, the prototype and the Chewbacca Black Series. That was pretty cool, but I think it was selling for like 800 some, so definitely was going to pass. I don't think that was right for me, but maybe one day. Maybe one day. And then we also had somebody selling these really cool little diorama pieces where you could peg on your action figures. I mean, they were really cool. Some were like the Death Star, some were in like outside, some was on Endor. And after all that, you know, here's a photo of me meeting Warwick Davis. It was pretty cool. That Smash Bros tournament that they had, I did take part in. And I actually came in second place. It was like an $80 cash prize, so got more money to spend on Star Wars. That was pretty funny. Wasn't expecting to do that good, but yeah, it was pretty fun. And I just had to share this. This was such a fun cosplay. We got a little Ezra here and an Ahsoka. Super cool. Great job on the costume, guys. And I love that lightsaber for Ezra. You know, switches from the blade to the blaster. And here's another cosplay I had to share. The Night Sister, or the Mother, with a Night Trooper. Super cool. The orb lit up. Fantastic cosplays. Now, one of my highlights of this convention was meeting some people that I know online. One of them is definitely General Kenobi, and I'm just going to share this little bit here. Alright guys, I am here with the General Kenobi's bunker.
Hello there.
And we actually met up, and we're going to get him one of the Sabers Pro lightsabers that we've got.
Bam.
and he is already a fan, so he's one of the lucky ones there. Oh, there he is. He's Kenobi.
Yeah.
Yes.
Ready, dude. This is awesome, and thank you so much. I'm gonna turn it off because
it's a bright one. It's a bright one for sure.
That's awesome, and so thank you so much. Really appreciate it. This thing is beautiful. I cannot wait to start hitting things in all around the room, you know, with this. Intentionally, unintentionally. My dog's probably gonna run out too, but hey, you know, really appreciate it. It's beautiful.
Yeah, and don't forget to follow him on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok,
right there.
At General Kenobi's Bunker. Don't forget to check him out, guys. So it was super cool getting to meet him in person finally. We had talked on like socials before, but it was super nice to actually meet him in person. And, you know, now I've got him going down the lightsaber rabbit hole. He ended up finding something that I was after, and it was the MTT. And so now he's got me spending that money. I'm going to get him into lightsabers, so it's a good time all around. But after that night, you know, it was super cool. There's this arcade that was just a couple minutes down the road. Me and my buddy Jack had to check out. It was huge. You could play the arcade machines for free. They had pinball. They had like table tennis outside. I'm an avid Mappy and Galaga fan, so had to put my name on the scoreboards there for those. They also had the Star Wars X-Wing games on here, and it's fantastic. Or the Star Wars Arcade Trilogy. So I played that for a good chunk of time. It was super fun. And then here's some footage of just the amazing Star Wars pinball machines they had. They even had a new one for The Mandalorian, which I thought was pretty cool. And then here's just a quick look. I did end up picking up a dark saber replica. Very nice. And I got Balin Skull's lightsaber as well, like a clean version of it. And I did pick these up from the Cool Lightsabers booth at the event. And of course, Obi-Wan's lightsaber. And again, here's another look at that Jedi Dooku saber I picked up. So again, I'm going to do some more videos showing you more like this Wedge Antilles plaque, the MTT. I also got my book signed from Timothy Zahn. So we're going to go in more depth on that in another video. Just do like a pickup video. But I just wanted to share it all because this is my first time going. My thoughts on the convention are, this is probably the only convention you can walk around and talk with your friends, meet people, meet guests, and even have conversations with these guests without being interrupted. The convention itself was kind of in a small area, but I think that just drew people closer together in the sense of, you know, finding friends, wanting to start conversations and things like that. I had a fantastic time, you know, again, meeting people that I've never seen face to face before is always super cool. I don't know if I've just been spoiled by other conventions. You know, I've been going to GalaxyCon for a couple years, if you guys are familiar. That convention is massive, but that's not just a Star Wars convention. So if you guys look at the lines and you're like, oh, this isn't as many people as I thought, that's because this is strictly Star Wars. You know, GalaxyCon, you know, might be like 6 times the amount of people that go, but it's everything. It's not just Star Wars, you know. So, yeah, I think this convention was very fun. I'll probably be going back for sure. Hopefully I get to see, you know, all the friends I made there again. And if you guys can, I definitely check out going to ICCC. And thanks again, guys, for watching the video. And thanks to ICCC for allowing me and Jack to go as press. Can't thank you guys enough. And stay tuned for that haul video, and we'll see you guys in the next one.